some bullshit manufactured, fabricated allegations. I won't do that. These things that people want to make up and say about me, I've been dealing with it my whole life. Preposterous allegations my whole life, honestly. And I hate it. And it sucks. And being in the public spotlight, that's going to happen. It's part of the job. And I think a lot of people in today's society are afraid to talk about it, or they need to talk to their team about what should I say and what do I do? And oh my gosh, everything is going to I'm going to be ruined, and people aren't going to like me, and people are going to believe this. Like, yeah, all of that might be true, but it's like, if I know at the end of the day I didn't do something and someone's making some bullshit up, I'm going to come out and fucking defend myself.
So before the podcast, I asked you if you wanted to talk about it, and originally I said we should leave it off the table just because it is a really, really sensitive subject, because you're dealing with a circumstance where, not with you, but there are legitimate actual victims involved. And you're right, a lot of people in Hollywood entertainment shy away from it, and so I also hate the idea of giving someone attention who lied about someone that I care deeply about in you. And I asked you to your face. I made you swear on Mom's life, my life, and I know you, and I trust you, and I love you and believe you. When you say it's all bullshit and that there is no sexual relationship that took place between you and this woman, and I, like you, tend to stick up for myself when I believe my truth is the truth. Mm-hmm. And I like that you're willing and enthusiastic to come on here and not be afraid to address something that is so absurd, because I think in an era where the Me Too movement is actually legitimate and finally men in power are being held accountable, I think I said this in my Twitter post, I think accountability will be an earmark of our generation. I think it's something we're great at doing. And cancel culture, again, it has its perks. The Me Too movement, of course, like holding men accountable for being disgusting and misusing and abusing their power, I think is really important. And in an era where you have the occasional person come forward who fabricates a story to get attention or do so for whatever reason, I'm not sure if there is anything that is more vile, that is more disgusting, invalidating legitimate victims of abuse and sexual assault it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. And so I was willing to put my foot down with you and stand in solidarity, because again, bro, I've seen it. I've seen you and your name be thrashed around and abused and lied upon for the past 2-3 years. And this one is absurd, man, and I hate that it came out in fight week, by the way.
Yeah, I feel like that's a timing type of thing.
What a coincidence.
What
wow.
a coincidence.
The biggest week of your life.
Of course.
And this is years ago, she claims, yeah?
Well, so this is where it gets tricky, because the psyche of sexual assault and rape isn't always immediate. Yep. And that's why, as a table full of men talking about an issue like this, it is difficult. But when I look at him in the eyes and he tells me what he tells me about the situation, and that there was no sexual relationship that took place, I believe him. And I'm willing to put my name and stand beside my brother in this specific circumstance, because it is bullshit, man. If any girl, and I even talked about it on this podcast before, which is why I feel so strongly about this, man. I went online one day and there was a girl who made an 18-minute video with very specific details about a date that I took her on, and I got aggressive with her and abused her halfway through the date and stormed out. Never met the girl in my life. No idea who she is. Never even had seen her. And that's how I know, like, this is unfortunately happening. And when it hits this close to home, yep, I'm so fucking not cool with it, man. Because, like, again, there are fucking real victims of some serious shit that fucks them up for the rest of their life. And when women cry wolf,
it makes others not look real.
It is the worst, man. It sucks.
I think lying about a situation is as equally evil as doing that situation. So if you have the heart to commit an act like that, is in my eyes equal to committing fake like news about it because you are watering down. At what point are we just gonna hear a story like this and just be like, well, that's gonna be sad? If we ever get to a point where we hear something like that and be like,
I agree with you. I agree with you on that. Especially given the climate that we're in. Normally in a climate where it wasn't as polar opposite as believe all victims and and question all stories. I've always fallen somewhere in the middle. Investigate all claims. I'm right in the middle of both of them. Thoroughly investigate all claims and have a decision making and a process around the findings, okay? But in the climate that we live in, the statement you just made about a claim being almost a false claim being almost as damaging as an actual case is true, because a false claim can quickly become a real claim in today's society because of the internet, because of the culture that we exist in.
So
the internet can make a false claim a real thing. Like like it really happened.
So I err on the side of like believing women. Like call me fucking
that's
woke ass bitch,
sure.
but like my knee jerk reaction is to side with the woman.
Sure.
And
I would agree too. I don't want to get into too many of the details, but it's like, I think if you have been accused of something and you didn't do it and you know that, and you can look yourself in the mirror and say, I did not fucking do this. I've never even had a sexual relationship with this girl by any means, and she's completely making up this whole entire story. Then
you need that is fucking crazy, bro.
You need to go back after that person and make sure that you're suing for defamation. There are irreparable damages. I hope you are.
There
are irreparable damages to this accusation that will follow me for the rest of my life. And there's already damages, like just behind the scenes shit of how messy things got this whole entire week from that is absurd. And it affects my life for many, many years to come. And I don't take that lightly, and my legal team doesn't take that lightly. And I will not back down from anyone who makes some false bullshit claims about me. I will chase it to the very fucking end and prove my innocence. And again, my character from years from now will show that this person and this individual is completely lying. And it's just fucked up, man. And
you know where
it sucks to be on the receiving end of it. And yeah, it's just bullshit.
You are blessed